You're watching PowerNation.
Today on Detroit Muscle, we take a trip in Road Burner to see what it takes to become a legend.
Plus, we give you the cheat sheet on how you can optimize your ride. You know, guys, here at PowerNation, we build things all over the spectrum. When it comes to a very popular subject, muscle cars, I'm proud to have had the opportunity to build several over the past 15+ years, and I've had a few favorites. Just recently, we finished up a Buick Regal that was a blast to drive. With a few custom touches here and there, we complemented the 80s style to create one heck of a G-body. It had a GM Performance 500+ horsepower LS that would shred the tires on command.
For many of you, the sweet spot lies within a 1968 through 1970 Dodge Charger. And without a doubt, one of the nicest cars to ever come out of this complex was Project Hard Charger. Its black paint that looked a mile deep on those infamous body lines was a sure sight to see. The blood red interior had a touch of all the good stuff, classic style and a performance feel. What could be the best thing about this iconic ride, you can't even see. With the bump of a key, those tailpipes told you the engine could do way more than just purr. Its 707 horsepower Hellcat power plant was begging to reduce the lifespan of those rear tires. Still have a few more tricks up our sleeves in the days to come.
I was talking to a good friend of mine the other day, and they asked me, why do you build stuff? Isn't it expensive? Doesn't it take a bunch of time? Sure does look like a whole lot of work. I told them yes on all three of those questions. For me, it's simple. Whenever you have a new project, it's like an open canvas, and it's up to the builder to create a mechanical piece of joy that them themselves, friends, family, or even a perfect stranger can enjoy. Whenever you have a hunger for performance, you need to feed your passion.
And with Road Burner, we wanted to build something that made a powerful statement, as well as making its mark in your memory. And whatever direction you decide to go with your project can come in many different forms.
Through the passing of time, what once was new becomes aged. Items fall to decay and become discarded. At this point, dismantling is set into action by both man and Mother Nature. Some are left to dissolve into non-existence and are consumed by their environment. What is left often appears as a lifeless shell, laying and waiting as its days are numbered. It takes a soulful body with an eye to see what once was and what could be. A creation associated with magnitude requires many items. To harness its capabilities requires components of speed and agility. An unsightly collection is not an option, because without form, the eye begins to wander. Sight becomes crude. To accomplish this with appeal, strength, and might equals success.
From the very beginning, this old Mopar has always had a haunting aura about it. So we set out to build something that would strike fear into those who came upon it. Unique muscle machine that would have an aggressive stance, a decibel-piercing power plant, and a raw attitude. Quite simply, we wanted to build something that made a statement. Now that all the pieces of the puzzle are together, I think it's safe to say that message will be heard loud and clear. Coming up, we head down to Hotlanta for some Hot Wheels action. The Hot Wheels Legends Tour is one of the most unique car events worldwide.
There are so many wonderful cars here. This is bigger, this is better. The competition, I mean, you really leveled it up.
Rides from around the globe are judged to see if they have what it takes to become the next Hot Wheels die-cast car.
More judges, more cars. Every car that was brought in today is worthy of being a Hot Wheels, but it is our unfortunate task to have to pick one winner.
Tommy and I got the opportunity to be judges for the Atlanta show, and we saw some amazing custom cars and trick trucks.
I think you can fit.
Yeah. That's some engineering right there, man.
It's not lacking in size. Man, that's for real.
If there's ever an apocalypse, this is the rig you want, though.
Cool.
Look at the size of them calipers, man. This thing just exudes raw power, man. It's pretty wicked.
I like how everything is like big. So how did you come up with this concept? When we were walking by, this thing was just kind of drawing me to it, so I had to hit you up to see what the story was.
Basically, I build some of these as a hobby. I got an international big rig that we're fixing to scrap. It's just scrap metal. It had hydraulic brakes on it, so we decided just to buy it and rob the axles out of it and try to rat rod it out. And
What does people say whenever you pull up in something like this?
most people think that it's some kind of bug out rig or some kind of doomsday vehicle or something like that, but it gets so much attention, it's unbelievable.
Just kind of happened. What do you think about it?
Well, it took him a while, but it turned out really good.
Yeah? How long did it take you to build something like this?
So I worked hard on it about 6 months solid every night until about midnight in the shop, working on it. Had to hand fab everything because it ain't nothing we can go buy.
It doesn't matter what the project is, they're really never done. It's
Oh, never. Always something to do.
And the creativity that goes into this stuff, oftentimes for me, is just mind-blowing. It's like people think outside of the box, and it's cool to see it.
This was nowhere close to what I thought it was going to look like when we started on it. But the plan is actually taking it to this show, and we've been to some of these shows before. It wasn't in the plan, but we always wanted that wow factor of the Hot Wheels cars.
Well, cool. It's a cool ride for sure. For sure.
Tommy and I talked to some of the folks about their rides and found out what it takes to be the next Hot Wheels legend.
Now, I'm very curious of what it would feel like to win an opportunity like this. A lot of us have played with them things as a kid for hours on end, and then having your own of exactly what you built in real life, that is mad cool. How does it feel to have this type of award?
This is unreal. We just found out about this show a couple days ago. We had no idea we would win this. I mean, there were some really rad cars here. But yeah, this is a huge honor. I play with Hot Wheel cars my whole life. He's got piles of them. So, I mean, the chance to have our own car that we built, it's awesome.
Before you guys even started this build, did you kind of just sit down together and just sketch out how you wanted to go about it?
Exactly what we did. Page after page, nope, scratch that, scratch that. There was a lot of learning on it.
Yeah, that's something he and I kind of go through before we get started on a build. It has to be functional but look good, and a lot of times you run into those miscues where it looks good but doesn't really work that well, then you flip it around and then...
Yeah, that's all our builds. We make sure they're functional. We drive them. He drives it to school. He drives it to work. So we wanted something that would hold up to the roads, the beatings. So it's a sweet car. It drives great. It runs great.
Yeah, we saw it coming in. I was like, man, that's like the world's scariest go-kart.
Yeah.
But it is a cool car. I love the color, and it just all flows. It looks great, and obviously you made an impression on Hot Wheels, and congratulations.
Yeah,
sir.
thank you.
Yeah, good job.
Well, I have to say this has been a pure honor to hang out with the Hot Wheels crew, and actually just parking our car in front of that billboard, man, it feels, yeah, I'm speechless. And that says something.
I gotta say, man, I don't think we could have came up with a better payoff for this road burner project. Like, this thing literally looks like a Hot Wheels car. When you think about the history, the heritage, and the wild charisma that Hot Wheels is known for, this car reflects it, man. I tell you what I do want to do, though.
What's that?
Let's go get an ice cream cone, 'cause it's hot.
Want to figure out your optimum vehicle performance? We give you the solution using simple math. Road tripping in our old Plymouth sure was a whole lot of fun. After getting a few miles on it, now we've got it back up on the lift to check to see if we've shook anything loose. Also to verify that we don't have any leaks or seeps.
Yeah, and we really didn't have too many issues to speak of, except for when we ran out of gas because we forgot to calibrate the fuel gauge. Let's not get caught up on the details. We still got to do that.
Another thing that impressed us was how well this thing cruised down the highway. It cornered nice, it drove like a dream, and a lot of that goes to the guys at RMS and their suspension setup.
If you were to judge this car by its appearance, something you might assume is that it would be crazy loud. But in all reality, it's not. Unless, of course, you flip the switch to open the cutout.
Yes, the exhaust and mufflers you choose can increase or decrease the decibel level, but there's another thing you should keep in mind.
That would be the amount of RPMs you're turning. So with your project, you gotta ask yourself a couple of questions. Are you going for a track car, a road car? And will the majority of seat time be spent making hot laps down the quarter mile or cruising down the boulevard on a Saturday night?
With Road Burner, we wanted to be able to stroll around in it and hop on the interstate without sounding like it was geared like a tractor, meaning when it's at 70, it's redlining the tach. To determine your RPM versus mile per hour, there is a mathematical equation. One part of the information that you're going to need is tire diameter.
And you can get this in a couple different ways. You can check with the manufacturer and get an exact measurement, or you can kick it old school with a tape measure.
Looks like we're about 28 inches.
It says 28.1 on the website.
It's killing me.
Another thing you're gonna need to determine is the gear ratio coming out of your transmission. For example, a 1-to-1 ratio would mean that for every revolution of the engine is equivalent to 1 revolution coming out of the output shaft. If you have a Power Glide or a C4, a C6, or even a 727, more than likely you're gonna be running a 1-to-1 ratio in high gear. We're running a little bit more of a modern setup that has overdrive, therefore the math and the variables change, but it's important to know by how much. Depending on the manufacturer, they can come in a few different ratios, like our TKX. This one has a 0.68 to 1, but they're offered in a 0.72 and a 0.81.
While we're on the subject of gears, well, you're gonna need to know what your setup is in the rear diff. Now, we installed a set of 355s when we were doing our suspension upgrade, so we know exactly what we have. If you have no idea, here's a little tip for you that'll get you pretty close. Make a mark on the wheel like here on the top. Then make a mark on the flange or yoke where the drive shaft would attach. As you spin the wheel, count the revolutions of the pinion. 1, 2, 3, and almost a half. That would give us a 355-ish. So how many times that goes around combined with the percentage of the next turn will get you in the ballpark. This is the equation that you can use to determine your miles per hour at a given RPM. Now, we pretty much already have most of our information like tire diameter and our ratios. Now, usually when you're driving one of these old hot roddy cars, the normal RPM level is somewhere between 2 and 2200 RPM. So for the sake of what we're doing, we're gonna go with 2200. According to Joel, we got a 28.1 tire diameter. Trans ratio was 0.68 and rear was 355. Now let's do some math, see what we come up with. We got 2200 times 28.1 equals 61,820. 0.68 times 3.55 times 336, 811. Let's divide these two. 61820 divided by 81110. That gives us 76.21. So what all these numbers mean is the parts that we've chose to put in old road burner, if we're ever out on a Saturday afternoon hot lap, well, the tack isn't going to be mad and the engine's going to be in that sweet spot. And we're almost not breaking the law.
Wish you could boost your throttle with the turn of a dial? We've got you covered. There's no denying that we have entered into a new age and era of hot rodding. For the longest time, achieving that perfect air-to-fuel ratio as well as peak throttle response lied within the performance of your carburetor. Unfortunately, tuning one of these complicated contraptions requires a unique skill set as well as a little bit of extra coin. However, with the advancement of technology and increasing popularity of late model power plant swaps, power adders such as this Bully Dog thruster are becoming a hot commodity, and adding a little extra pep in your ride step is as easy as plugging in a new toy. Now I know this glorified hay hauler ain't exactly what you'd call an iconic piece of Detroit iron, but it does sport a modern Gen 3 Hemi similar to what a lot of you guys are slapping into your old school Mopars, I'd imagine for the modern conveniences of air conditioning and fuel injection. Now, if you're one of the lucky few who already have one of these fancy power plants installed into your ride and you want that little extra throttle kick, Bully Dog can help get you there. This electronic throttle enhancement device is an easy to install setup that ties into your vehicle's pedal position sensor and the harness. The attached adjustment knob allows on-the-fly tuning for preferred response based on your application. Its waterproof design also allows for off-road use for your rock crawler or mud truck. Just make sure you disconnect the positive terminal on your battery before installing. All right, fun launch in 3, 2, 1. Wow. Okay, I was not expecting that. Holy cow. Yeah, that's a little different. Holy smokes. Now, just out of curiosity, I'm going to dial it back to about 50% to see what it does. Okay, nice happy medium. I'm going to dial it back up to 100 because I think it's too much fun. I'm seriously blown away right now. I am so giddy at how awesome this truck is running right now. it wants to get up and go. I've never had that kind of throttle response. That's awesome. I'm telling you guys right now, if you want like a super simple plug and play throttle booster, this one from Bully Dog is awesome. 10 out of 10. I love it. I think I might keep it. Old Road Burner has been a blast to build and drive, and we can't wait to get it out on the track to start snatching through some gears at wide open throttle. And you know, we like to take care of our projects, even when they're just hanging out.
Using a Covercraft cover helps to keep your ride out of harm's way, and they manufacture covers for several applications. On our Project Street Regal, we used one of the most luxurious indoor covers, their Form Fit. It's made of polyester and spandex on the outside and 100% cotton fleece on the underside to pamper your ride.
Covercraft also offers components to help protect your interior, like these deluxe leather precision fit custom seat covers. They are highly water resistant and custom patterned for a precise fit. They'll also protect your seat from the sun, dirt, and abuse.
Road burner is done for now, and we want to make sure nothing happens to all of our hard work, especially since it's missing the hood.
This works well for indoor and outdoor applications, made of a breathable material to help allow heat, moisture, and condensation to escape. And if you're looking for a cover for long-term storage situations, this may be the one for you.
Installation is a breeze, and it fits like a tailored suit.
You know, it's almost a shame to put all this work into this car just to put it to bed till we can get it out to the track.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun though. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. You know, at some point we should probably pull that Hurst Olds out of hibernation.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say I'm tired of working on a Mopar, but I'm ready to work on something different.
Know what you mean. You know me, you don't have to twist my arm to work on a GM product.